All right, what's up? What's good, everybody? And welcome back to the Wavelengths podcast. This is episode 17 of the Wavelengths podcast. We've been gone for a minute, but we back now. What's good with you? How you been? As usual, we are your favorite Halo YouTubers with fantastic hair, joined by my usual co-hosts. I'm Clay. These are the boys. What's up, fellas?
I can't believe it's actually been 17 episodes. That's
17 episodes. Yeah, I did a double
A lot
take.
more than I thought.
I did a double take when I looked at that because I was like, wait, we're on what, episode fucking 11? Nope.
Yeah,
I think we've said this in multiple podcast intros, but we continue to impress ourselves.
That's right. We've had this podcast for like a year and a half or some crazy shit.
When you set low standards,
when the bar
and you achieve them
on the floor,
you just consistently blow them out of the water, and it's amazing.
Yeah, honestly, I think it just makes for the best vibes for the podcast.
In my mind, this channel has been just horrendously successful.
Yeah, this is a success story in the making, folks.
Honestly, there's gonna be documentaries about this shit one day.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of Halo stuff going on in the recent days and weeks. A lot of announcements, a lot of whispers, a lot of rumors, and a lot of upcoming stuff as well. Firstly, we finally got a release date. Finally, December 8th.
About goddamn time.
Facts. But December 8th is the magic day when all hell breaks loose, and we finally find out if this shit's real or not.
All the people that you think you're friends with, you're gonna find out.
You're gonna find
out if you're still friends with them.
Don't fucking talk to me. December 8th.
It's gonna be ego central. For the casual fans, you're gonna have the best time of your life.
Dude,
literally, don't talk to me. I'm busy.
I'm so excited, bro.
I'm busy.
I'm just flat out busy. Don't talk to me.
And I've had this weird sort of giddy feeling about it, like the way you used to feel about Christmas, like when you were a kid and shit. Sort of like, obviously I'm excited to play the game because I like Halo and I want to play the new game, but mainly just to have the new thing for us to work on is it's fucking finally. I'm ready to go to work and do shit. It's been so long of just sitting in place and doing bullshit like this podcast.
Honestly, Clay.
Ugh.
I just think it's time for your views to go back up with 0 to Hero. It's gonna skyrocket.
0 to Hero, bro.
It's coming back in full force.
Honestly,
it's coming back in full force.
Honestly, Justin, you kind of ruined the surprise because I wasn't gonna say shit about it until the game dropped. And here's 0 to Hero for the first time in 10 years.
Whoever is in your subscriber pool and is just and doesn't know that that's gonna happen, that guy's an idiot. Fucking mad dense.
Mad density, bro. Mad density, bro. You knew I was gonna do that.
Come on, man. That's being Cole's not coming out with tips and tricks videos. So it's
I'm gonna.
Proximity tips and tricks, bro.
That's proximity tips and tricks.
Coming back.
You're gonna see his ass all over Reddit. Dude, I remember.
Mind you.
Yeah, exactly. I remember back in the day. That's how it was.
I'm just excited for that. New content, but I just am looking forward to waking up and then being I want to get on the game and learn new things and be better at it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's mostly with Halo 5 these days. It's hope your connection's good and then try not to fuck up. But there's stuff to learn, but super situational. There's so much more to learn in a new game. I'm just excited about that.
And to just wake up and not hate the game we're gonna go play, or not not even hate it, but just you're so burnt out on it that just
I want to be excited.
Exactly, it's just gonna be a normal thing. We're just gonna be playing a new game.
The crazy thing, all right. So I like Smash, I like Melee, and one of the crazy things is that the game's been out for so long. The game's been out for so long that the meta, it's weird that the meta is still evolving and people are still learning new things. And it's dude, that's all that you can pray that the game that you love, the franchise that you love, has that sort of it has that kind of legs on it. And just everything that I've seen from Halo Infinite so far, it's yeah, dude, you have the sandbox that you have, I think that we could be seeing new metas throughout the next couple of years. At least I hope so. I think that would be interesting.
Halo 5 has a lot of depth, and we've seen that if it maintained if it was the major tournament title for Halo, still, like, we would have seen the meta evolve even more. I mean, we have seen the meta evolve slightly just because the games existed for longer, so gameplay's never been as fast and extra nerdy. So that would have all evolved. Like, I don't feel like getting into like the details of all of what that was, but Halo 5 is a really deep game, and hopefully Infinite will be even more deep than that because it is expected to have a longer like lifespan.
I mean, it's called Infinite.
So
Yeah,
it's called
yeah.
Infinite, right? It's,
I mean,
supposed
like
to be the Halo.
The word in
Halo.
like fighting games is like tech skill, and like that's just what I hope out of this game is that there's a whole lot of like tech stuff that you can do, like technical stuff. That's what I kind of hope for. That's what like gets me giddy about the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little disappointing to see spring jumping not like we didn't see it in the tech preview, which, you know, might be a full indicator that it's just not in the game, and that sucks because that's just like one example of a like small tech skill thing that can exist that can offer advantages to certain players if they choose to utilize it and are able to do it. So
Spring jump was fun as fuck too.
it was a cool tech.
Like
it was a cool
whenever
thing that,
whenever I would always talk about like anytime that I would get on like I've been hitting all my fucking plaza spring jumps, not even thinking about it.
And all the spring jumps, bro.
And then it's always after I say that I miss the next like 6. I'm like, dude, fuck.
yeah,
You gotta stay humble, bro.
It's rewarding. Hopefully stuff like that stays present, but we really can't know yet.
Dude, if one game humbles the fuck out of you, it's Halo 5.
It is, bro. 100%. Karma's a bitch in that game.
Yup.
But along with the December 8th release date, we got another little update that co-op campaign and Forge are not going to be included on launch, which I guess sort of selfishly for us is probably not the biggest deal because we're like multiplayer guys, but for the game does kind of suck for sure, and sucks to see, and was definitely a big debate. You know, a lot of people were on the side of delaying the game again, and a lot of people were on the side of, you know, maybe this is better to have a couple of delayed features and to have the game come out on time. So, what do y'all think about that?
I made a tweet about it. I was actually like, you know, I don't make the call, but if I did, I would delay it another 6 months. If that's all it was really going to take was 6 months to get it done, like I would think it's worth it personally. But
because they did say that
I do want to get my hands on the game. There's no doubt about that.
Right, exactly. But so they said, I think they confirmed when those features were being added. I think they said it was like season 2 or season 3 for both of those things.
Yeah, I think
they
said
clarified how long the seasons were.
Yeah.
And so that's where we got the 6-month figure or whatever.
Right. Assuming that doesn't get a delay, but I guess we'll see.
Sure. Right. Yeah. It was the same thing. It was the same thing with Halo 5, was it not? Was Forge? Did we not have Forge on launch?
No Forge.
No.
Yeah, because Forge came with BTV, right?
It did. Yeah, I believe that was all part of the same update. It was
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, no, because BTB was. Yeah, BTB wasn't a thing off launch. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because
I was like, because all the BTB maps are Forge, right?
Well, because we all didn't we get all of those things in like the same update? Like we didn't have doubles on launch either.
No.
There were,
which also I think that's interesting too to kind of think about is what playlists are they going to decide to launch with? Because like you see that MCC kind of has like a rotational thing with their like rank stuff, because obviously like you want to try to get like the hottest ranked game in, but like their social I think is like all open. No, like there's action stack, and then you can play shoddy snipes if you want to play shoddy snipes. I don't know. I haven't played social that often, but like it's super diverse. So I don't know if they're gonna try to keep that same kind of mentality where you're like, oh, you can play social slayer or you can play like social objective. That way you can use the BR or whatever the main gun is. So
I
think that's gonna be interesting what they choose,
because MCC has been sort of like their like testing ground for all these features that they want to bring over into Infinite, right? You know, they added like the season pass model and the all the different new shit that they've added. So I would assume that that would probably be the same. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool as shit.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I definitely hope so as well.
There was a big announcement with the partnered teams. There are 9 pro teams or pro organizations that are partnered with 343 headed into Halo Infinite. It's going to kick off the competitive league shit and all that. And does anybody have a list of them?
I do, yeah. But
yes, I do.
But it's 9 teams that are directly partnered with the HCS.
So they're going to have skins in the game off launch.
Yep.
I think, they said there's a number of different things that would be integrated through the game.
Yeah, they have available off launch. So they're going to hit the ground running like with esports, and it should be super exciting.
Yeah, you have super big names in this shit. And then some, only one that I haven't heard of before, but I'm learning is like super big in other scenes, because they have Space Station, which is the one that I didn't know anything about. Same. But they're like, I guess they're like playing PUBG and Rainbow Six, and I think a couple other games, and they're doing really well in there. There's Sentinels, there's Navi, there's G2, Fnatic, FaZe, United, Envy, and Cloud9. And like before this, we only knew about Cloud9, Envy, and Sentinels. And I would say the most like surprising one to me is like Navi, because like whenever I think of that, I think of like CS and shit.
I was gonna say it's definitely surprising to see.
To me, honestly.
Yeah, FaZe, G2, Navi, Fnatic obviously had teams back in Reach, I believe. But it's cool to see them step back into the scene as well. Yeah. Just really, and obviously, I don't think United has had a team in Halo before. No. But just to see organizations like that, especially like tier 1, like dope ass organizations stepping into the space and getting involved, and on such a personal, like deep level, with Halo esports and being personally involved with HCS and all that, and with all of the different levels of integration that we're gonna have, the team skins and the being able to direct people to different social channels and all that stuff. I think it's gonna be super great for the scene.
Yeah, I think I you could tell that there's I don't know, whenever I look at these orgs, I can tell that they're orgs that put a lot of investment in the games that they choose to compete in.
Right.
Like Sentinels has shown a whole lot of love to Halo. Like Envy has Cloud9 is like they have like some of the longest, like they have Mango who's in Smash, and it's like Smash. If you think Smash is super niche, and then you have like Halo in this shit, it's like they're gonna care about their players. And then United, I'm really excited for United just because I'm a COD kid.
Yeah.
And like they're like grassroots.
Yeah, right. Based on what they did in Call of Duty, they're a very entertaining organization, and definitely somebody that you want to see in your space, because they know how to engage their fans, and they've always been really good at that, and building hype around their teams and like a fan base, and especially they've always made pretty good personnel decisions, I think, as well. Intentionally grabbing people that are gonna help their brand a lot. So
really cool brand.
I'm excited about all of them. I mean, I don't think there's
not a bad one in that list, bro.
I didn't know who Space Station was, but I mean, they look like, from
their logo's cool as shit.
They're on some cool stuff, so
Yeah.
What I'm saying, it's our kind of vibe right there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes with the stuff off launch with those teams. But there's also a heavy implication that those organizations are going to be looking to sign content creators as well. So, just for the hypothetical purpose and conversational points, if you could choose one of those organizations to sign with, who would you choose?
Well, first of all, there's not a bad one in that list.
There's not. Let's be clear about that, but you can do phase up.
Hey, man, that's what I'm saying. You can do a 2-phase up. I already won a Grassroots World Championship for United, so it'd be great to bring more banners to that organization.
Me and Clay were talking about that fucking picture yesterday where it's Clay after he won champs, and he's pointing at himself, and Clay puts the photoshopped photo of him over Formal's face whenever he was fucking 15.
It's 15-year-old me on Formal on Clayster. And I tweeted that shit out after we won the grassroots cup. That shit was fire.
Bro, that old
It's pretty.
But hey, me and United got a history, bro. But hey, look, man. Anybody out there is listening for any of these teams, look, doors are open, all right? Holler at your boys. The Wavelengths boys are open for business. And we're always looking for collaborations, partners, families to be a part of. We're here for it, man. But yeah, along with the announced teams, I think we only got one new announced roster, which was United. And that was the Spartan, Rain, King Nick, Ryanoob team.
Yep.
I believe. So
yeah, which Ryanoob, King Nick, and Rain have been playing together for a while now. The only kind of curveball out of that was Spartan joining that team.
Well, that roster has been playing together for like the past year and a half, right?
Yeah, they've been playing in the
like the online stuff and right.
I didn't realize Spartan had been playing with them the whole time.
Right.
So
Well,
I knew that he had played for some of it, but
the reason that I had heard,
because I know the H2A stuff he was playing with.
Whatever, it's good for them. I think it's a good pickup for United, and I'm glad they got a good organization.
That's a good squad.
I think they deserve a spot in the league. So
definitely. But the reason I found out about that shit is because when I was reacting to all the different tournaments and shit, and then I got to the Spartan and Ryan beef one, and I was getting all hype about their beef, and everybody was in the comments like, no, they're friends now, and I was like, damn it. Like, that shit was so entertaining. But nah, we're happy for them. It's good stuff. Love to see it. And obviously, we're very excited and intrigued as well to see what kind of rosters end up on these other teams, because there's a lot of rosters, a lot of teams rather, that are going to be involved at the start, and we only have, I think, 4 confirmed rosters at this point. So we're going to have a lot of different announcements.
Less than half.
Right. We're going to have a lot of different announcements of rosters and different players that maybe you haven't heard of or that you haven't heard of in a while, or maybe see some old vets coming back and stuff like that. So I'm definitely curious to see who all these teams are going to go after and what the competition is going to be looking like at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I'm curious about when those sort of deadlines are. Because you have stuff like CDL Intel that kind of leaks that stuff to people, and the players are pretty vocal about it. So I wonder if there is like a roster lock date for the organization.
I guess that would all depend
now that they know
when the first tournament is, or when if there's any type of pro league model or what, however they're going to do it. So hopefully we'll get, and I think Tashi as well said that we were going to get some more HCS related and tournament related announcements in September. So in the coming days. As well as, did you guys see the teaser on the HCS Twitter a little earlier?
I'm looking at it right now.
Had a little teaser about 20 years of Halo history, with a little picture of the corner of something. So, plenty of cool stuff on the horizon in terms of esports and HCS and things that we're very excited about. Because obviously we are all about the esports side of Halo. But sort of in other news, really quickly, just to divert, Formal retired, which is a weird feeling, because for me personally, Formal is my favorite player of all time across Halo and Call of Duty, and I think we might have some shared opinions in this call. But
I mean, yeah, if I think about like somebody that is currently retired, that would be like, I mean, yeah, Matt has always stayed one of my favorite players. Always loved watching him, start to finish.
I mean, what would Formal do?
I
have so many memories of, I mean, easily one of my top 3 favorite players of all time. I mean, you can make an argument for it. So
we still
definitely
we still consistently joke about the Snipetown 1v1, and
Yep.
you know that shit. Just we
fans.
make jokes of that shit all the time. But
Yeah, I feel like this is the first like pro. Like, I wonder if this is how like other people felt whenever like Ogre 2 retired, or like whenever fucking Big T retired, because like I felt like we genuinely watched him throughout his entire career,
right,
like
yeah,
start to
Yeah,
finish.
no, I mean, I genuinely did. I know for me personally, but I know that the three of us together have watched his entire COD career. So like his Halo career was a little bit early, but like, and I know Clay saw it. Justin probably didn't at the time, but he knows about it now. I mean, watching somebody go through their whole career like that and have such an insanely successful career and be
right.
like,
And for
just
us especially, who
what
were
a good
like,
player.
we were obviously to come from Halo, and we're obviously big COD fans, and Justin and I especially are such big Optic fans. To be able to watch that and be a fan of him.
Bleed green, baby.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was truly one of the GOATs, one of the legends, one of the most talented players of all time across all FPS games, I think. So, definitely a legend. Will be missed, and curious to see if his retirement stays permanent. You know, you never know. Could
Shout
come
out,
back.
Rich.
Retiring from
Hey,
Call of Duty anyway.
That's what I'm saying. He could come back in a later
You know.
COD title. He might come back to Halo. You never know, bro. The
knows,
doors.
dude?
Hey, look.
Clay sees one tweet that says "Good year to skip," and he's fucking tinfoil hat out here.
No, look, no, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. You never
He's
know.
a believer.
All right.
He's a believer.
Look, man. There's lots of rosters over here that need players formal in Halo. You know what I'm saying?
Legends never die.
Legends never die,
Dude,
bro.
if he
Maybe all he needs is a
it'd
new
be
game
so
grind, you
it would
know?
be so funny if he joined FaZe. He's just over there with Celium. Just you could do two FaZe up.
You can do two phase up. But I guess sort of in a similar vein, the roster mania for Call of Duty this offseason has been absolutely batshit crazy. Cole, I don't know if you've been keeping up with much of it.
I've
but
only I know some of it, but I don't know most of it. I guess I you know
Seattle Surge
shit is
doesn't have a
wild.
team.
Squad wipe.
Paris Legion don't have a team.
Squad wipe.
London only have one player.
Mostly squad
LAG
wipe.
doesn't have a whole team.
Squad wipe.
So like dude. They're fucking it up over
Plus,
there. And then there's the Dallas Optic merger.
Headlined by the potential of so Rostermania started with Crim6 and Vivid being dropped from Dallas, which left Illy and Shotzi the only players left over there. And a couple days later, Formal retires and Envoy got dropped from Optic, which leaves Scump and Dashy over there. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's all these articles about potential mergers and Envy potentially acquiring the Optic Gaming brand and all this stuff, which would rebrand the Empire as like a new Optic team and would combine those two teams of two. And then the Chicago spot would go to somebody else, presumably. But
and then E Classico dies.
But holy shit! Like what?
There will no longer be an Optic versus Envy grand final
because they're the same team.
Yeah.
How does it? What?
It would just die, dude. You know how hyped? You know how hyped the Optic Envy shit was?
I just gotta say, on the opposite end of the COD nerd boner, dude, that shit is dying. Can we not see it? Why are teams merging together and shit? Yeah. What the hell's going on with like merger teams and shit? The shit's not getting more hype. It's getting like worse. You got big deal sponsors falling out of there.
Oh well. Hold on.
That was Activision related, wasn't it?
Wait. Yeah. So the whole reason why Optic is having to get bought out by Envy is because like apparently, well, I remember hearing about this in like March and shit. But like there was a bunch of disagreements between Hex and like Andy Miller, the guy who like runs NRG, and they used to make a podcast together, and he doesn't talk about Huntsman or anything anymore, and then they don't talk about Optic at all, like on the NRG shit. So I think it's more of like a fallout with that company who was backing them. and now they have to be bought by Dallas.
Right. So instead of being owned by or parented or whatever by NRG in Chicago, they would be owned or parented by Envy in Dallas.
Yeah, because of fallout between Hex and the NRG organization.
And then there would be an available team slot in Chicago, right?
Which EU United have hinted that they're going for. C9 had hinted that they were coming into COD. Now this could all be for like impressions and shit.
I was gonna say I think the
EU United
one, was I think a lot of bait because they took a lot of heat for like advertising to their COD community and then announcing the Halo team, because it seemed like they were kind of baiting for a COD announcement just to announce the Halo team. So a lot of COD people were like really bent out of shape about that. So I don't know.
I didn't even know that.
There could be still there could be still an EU United COD team on the horizon. Obviously, we have no idea, but I think a lot of that baiting in particular was about the Halo thing.
Yeah, and then like the Paris Legion like trademark also got like dissolved. So they think that they're just gonna completely do a different city and shit for it.
Or could we end up with a different like Paris team with just different branding, or like
something,
or like it would be a different city?
It might be a different city too.
I don't know.
I think all I'm gonna say is like realistically, until COD figures their shit out, this format is not going to work. It's going to continue to just lose viewership over the years.
Yeah, the whole
you can't keep
franchise
switching the
league
game every single 10 months.
Yeah,
you can't go flip the entire sport that you're playing in 10 months every time. Can't do it.
But also, they take like the game's launch like Cold War launched so like incomplete. Like there were like 6 maps, and
every year
the meta changed like 6 times, and like you didn't end up with like the final way that game played until like 4 or 5 months into the game, and by then you've got 3 months left of the game.
They need to release a new game called Call of Duty, and then don't release another new game ever.
Call of Duty Infinite. Thanks.
Fuck you. I made the joke. I made the joke
bitch.
Fuck you.
You suck.
Call of Duty.
Shut up.
And every other one that preceded it has its own subtitle, so we can all know which one we were talking about.
Yeah.
Talking about the most recent one, you just say COD. You can move forward. That shit's gonna dude. I was watching Champs. Ain't nobody watching that shit. That viewership was dismal for the amount of money that league has.
Plus,
I mean,
yeah, I think overall they kind of fucked up with going to.
There's no way to look at it positively as like, oh well, a couple $100,000. Like, no, that's piss poor, legitimately terrible for the budgeting they have.
Plus,
like comparing to what other sports leagues pull in numbers, and the reason why they have their advertisers. Like, people like to joke about nobody watches the WNBA. Go look up the WNBA numbers versus the COD numbers, and then think about how small COD is.
Right.
Like, no, like they're way too ahead of themselves, making a $25 million buy-in franchise league. Like, that's.
And then you're still significantly downsized.
It would be like if the NBA was like, next season we're playing on the moon. So now everything changes with the gravity and everything. Like, it's a whole different game. No, sure, the rules are the same, but it's not the same game. You can't do that. It's not a fucking realistic. What the hell is that?
It's World War II on the moon.
Every game's a different game, dude. Like, how is it? Like, what is that? Every year we're playing something completely different.
Plus, not to mention just the epic fail that is the way the CDL works right now. And fucking imagine if you're a FaZe fan and you're like so hyped to watch your team play at Champs, and you watch them play for 5 minutes and they win.
And then there's literally no
played
incentive
like
to go
8
to
maps,
bracket.
dude.
Besides the fact that you have less series to play, there's no incentive to go to winners bracket because grand finals is the best of 9.
Yeah,
straight.
Sure.
No advantage.
It's pretty annoying.
But I don't know. Eight teams at Champs, and they started on Thursday, and we're watching like 2 series a day and shit. And definitely hear this the right way as well, because the 3 of us are not Halo guys that are over here hating on COD. We love COD. It's just COD sucks and we want it to be good.
Shit. Dude, we were watching champs every year.
We love Halo, or we love COD just about as much as Halo. So
I've watched champs
hear this the right way.
every single year since Black Ops 2. Okay, I watched champs every year, and champs has been lit, and the viewership of champs has been insanely larger before. And now it's a fucking joke.
God, I miss the jetpack games.
Damn, dude.
Fuck.
Just champs in general before was lit when there was a huge bracket. All sorts
32
of
teams from all over the world. You never know, this Asian team could come out of nowhere and use some crazy strategy, and they're throwing shock charges
TR
and
never
shit.
would have been a thing.
Dude, there's 8, like
alley-oops and uplink.
Right. But there's 8 fucking teams in this champs. Some of them already going to shit, knowing they're not winning. No heart.
Florida, like teams like Florida, bro, they played 3 maps and they were done. That was their week.
Yeah, so did
one series got 3-0'd and you're done. Bye.
Yeah. And so yeah, you go back to when champs was an open bracket event. There were some teams that were pre-seeded in. There was a qualifier, so anybody could make it in, and then depending on the year, there were either 16 or 32 teams at the final event. But that was a much larger team pool, so there were more players out of those 8 teams that just played at that champs that deserved to be playing at that champs and would have played. Like, if you expand that to 16 and let everybody actually play their heart out for a big prize pool, you're going to have way different matches. The investment from everybody's going to be a lot different. It's a whole different atmosphere.
Right, and and not even like, these players deserve to be at champs or whatever, but simply in like the entertainment aspect of it, just to have more matches and more possibilities. Like, think about how hype it was when Seattle upset FaZe at like the last major and shit like that. Just to have the possibility for more matches and more crazy shit because everybody's at champs and everybody's playing their heart out, and more potential for, like, everybody's backs are against the wall. You're trying to do the craziest shit. So
on the opposite end of that, like, you also don't ever have the story of Optic getting top 24 at champs.
I was just about to say, like, so you have this year FaZe was like favored to win, and then FaZe kind of just won. Like, they just didn't lose. The end. They had to beat 7 other teams, which means they had to play, I think, 3 matches in total.
They played 3 matches.
They won 3 series, and they're world champions. Okay, so let's rewind to AW. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Optic Gaming, Formal, Crimsix, Scump, Nadeshot. They had been massacring everybody. They're absolute favorites to go in this event. What happens? They
almost didn't drop a map at regionals.
Yeah, just fried everybody. Winners won to Denial. Now they're in losers bracket. They end up in top 8, whatever it was.
Denial they get. I think they get like 1 or 2
TR
rounds,
gets
and then
second.
they win.
This team TR that nobody even paid attention to just flies through losers bracket, gets second, almost pushes it to a map 11.
Revolutionized uplink. They were throwing alley-oops on Detroit uplink.
It was insane, dude. Like, this team comes out of nowhere, just fries everybody. Denial, which was like the second team, they were like the team that Optic was worried about, if anything, played out of their minds and won, and it was well deserved. Optic got shit on. So like the team that was favored didn't have, like, that would have been a different event if Optic went into that only having to win 3 series. It would have been way different. It's a way different atmosphere, way different environment. They had to go in winning like what, 8 series, 12 series. Right. I don't know. There was a huge bracket back then,
and that's why
you actually had to play.
You remember events like CWL Atlanta in Infinite Warfare. It's one of those events where like Optic had like a bad pool play or caught like a round 1 winners loss, and they were in losers bracket and they had to play like 9 rounds in losers bracket. Remember they had that crazy 5 game series against Panda where they like 2-5 came back on them, and Karma had that 1v1.
Yeah.
And they made it all the way to the finals and then lost the finals. United. Yeah, because they had to play like 10 matches.
And United played out of their minds. That event was insane, dude. IW
also,
had some of the sickest events. That game was lit to watch, dude.
Like,
game was awesome.
It was like, if you had like the whole story around Optic was like, they don't have good Fridays. They like, if their Friday is good, they're gonna win the event. But if their Friday is bad, like, they're probably out by Saturday. But you had a whole day to sit there and think about it, where you're like,
there was immediately,
is Optic about to do this shit or not?
Yep.
Every time there's a story.
Which
and then
goes to my other thing about fuck it, dude, Clay. I don't see how you could just have everything in front of you. Like you like binge watching shit. Like because Clay had told me that he didn't like watching the Loki series because
I just want to binge it. I hate waiting.
Yeah, he just wants to binge it. But it's like that's the best part. It's all the suspense. It's all of the theory crafting in the middle of it. Like, dude, that's what makes that special.
I will agree with you in certain like for Infinity War. Like we had to wait a year after Infinity War. That was cool.
That was lit.
That shit would have been ass cheeks if you literally got to
right,
watch it
exactly.
right afterwards.
Right. However,
on the other hand, we're back at the end.
Right, but on the other hand, you have like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and there's like 2 episodes, like the first couple episodes of that shit are like, there's a lot of politics and like background character stuff about like the new Captain America and all this stuff that like I thought was so boring, just didn't give a shit about. That would have been so much better. Could I have watched the whole thing start to finish? But I had to watch.
Likes the lightsaber fights.
Everybody. Yeah, dude,
I do, bro.
That's what it comes down to.
No, there was like a whole ass episode of him at his high school and talking about how sad he was to his and how nervous he was to his girlfriend and shit. It's like I don't care. But anyway, in a totally.
I'm sorry for a character that is going to continue to exist in the MCU. They're
Clay literally just said that I hate character development.
No, that's not what I said. I said it would have been good could I have watched it in one continuous thing. I waited a week to watch 45 minutes of this goofy ass boy I didn't like, and then I had to wait another week to find out why I had to see that.
Dude, okay, but see on another on another note with something like that, if you binge watch something. Sometimes character relationships they might have a character relationship over 3 episodes, which if you watch that throughout 3 weeks feels a lot longer than if you watch that through. I sat here and watched 5 episodes today, and episodes 2, 3, and 4. These 3 episodes, these 2 characters had a relationship, and then that character died, and it kind of just felt like forced and over with. Whereas like you can't let a relationship breathe and feel real, like they've actually spent some time together. If you're watching it like, and then he's dead. And, like, that felt so forced. They had a fake bond. And, like, sometimes you can be a victim of that if you're watching things too quickly because you're not getting to appreciate the story. Sometimes they're trying to, like, stretch a story to make it longer, but sometimes these things are supposed to, like, set up context, man.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at Clay's face. He's like, dude, I just keep catching strays. It doesn't matter.
I'm not even trying to like, dude. I just disagree with you on something like that.
I don't know, man. I have a lot of memories. And I have a lot of memories of binge watching Making a Motherfucker and Stranger Crunks in the CX house, watching all that shit in one day.
Stranger Things.
And thoroughly enjoying it.
3. See, but Stranger Things season 3 is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I feel like what's the kid's name? Whatever. The little sister and their whole adventure. I didn't get to appreciate her. No, is his name Lucas?
Yeah, one of them.
Not Dustin.
Yeah,
Lucas.
He's you talking about his little sister? Yeah.
Her. She had a whole great arc and everything. It felt so like it was all happening so fast, man. I didn't get to appreciate her character. By the end of the season, they gave her like a whole epilogue scene, and I was kind of like, we watched that shit.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it, but it was just one of those things where I remember when it was happening, thinking like, "Oh, that character was good." And I didn't get to appreciate that because it was all just happening so fast.
I guess that makes sense. Clay really likes movies. I wouldn't say that like you're a TV show kind of guy, though.
Me?
Yeah.
It's just I would say I have a shorter attention span.
Yeah. Clay just wants to sit down. Yeah.
Because I will watch TV shows.
Dude, can we skip through the talking parts?
Can we go through these talking parts, dude? It's so annoying.
Man.
Clay remembers all the fights, none of the lines.
Fuck y'all. I like the talky parts.
Yeah, whenever they're fighting each other while they're talking, that doesn't count.
No, I mean, to be fair, Clay does
he quotes a lot of shit.
Defend Iron Man 2, and that movie is like 90.
That's all dialogue.
Dialogue, like nothing happens.
There's not even any fighting in that movie.
No, it's just because he likes Justin Hammer. That doesn't count.
Dude, Iron Man 2's gas. I'm with him on it. Sorry.
It is.
That movie's gas, bro.
Dude,
you'll literally watch it and be like, nothing happened, but you were so entertained the whole time.
And hey, look, you might hate Iron Man 3, but all of the dialogue between Tony and Happy is the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
so y'all can eat my ass.
All
Anyway,
Iron Man 3 is
I've
not,
never
not a good
hated.
movie.
I like
I've
Iron
never
Man 3.
hated Iron Man 3. Yeah,
I like it. I like that movie.
It's not good.
But anyway, on a random note, I just thought of this, and we had talked about this a couple times, but Attach has had like the most world star career ever in COD. And this
he fucked around.
This reminded
fucked
me.
around and won a chip this year.
Yeah,
We're
but
pivoting back to Call of Duty.
But well, you just reminded me because we were talking about AW champs, and Attach came out of nowhere and went apeshit that event, won a world championship in that game.
That was his first event win.
His first event win.
Champs.
You know, he might not have won that many events.
Was weird. That team was Replays, JCap, Clayster, and Attach.
Cap, bro, in a jetpack game.
In a jetpack game.
You had two role players and two fucking animals. Like Clay and Attach were fucking nasty at that game.
They were.
Going back to the formal retirement, the like big talking point in AW for the largest part of its lifespan was Clay Formal, who's going to show up this event. Whoever shows up that event,
who's the better
who has the better AR.
Yeah.
And then I remember back half of the game,
it was Zoomer Scump.
Yep.
Yeah, Zoomer.
Tommy was better than Attach in the latter half of that game, 100%.
And then what's it called? Octane started coming up during that time. Like I remember towards the end of it, it was like Octane and Hook were kind of like the come ups at the end of that game. And it was like, oh, are these the guys who are gonna start taking over like Scump and Formal? And for the most part,
then Formal just dropped like
weird.
67 on retreat hard point, and everybody was like, okay, fine, he's the best.
All right, he's the best. But it's kind of weird though, right? Because back in AW, it was kind of like, okay, are these the guys who are next up? And even now, it's kind of still like that. Like, are these guys ever going to step up and be
right?
Are they going to be Formal? Are they going to be Scump? And like, it's not like they're not capable of it because they're like extremely talented players. But like, if anyone's the new Formal, it's Arcides. If anyone's the new Scump, it's Simp. And like, these guys have shown up like a lot later than like Octane or Hook have been here.
Right.
I mean, while we're showing love to the COD players, Arcides, dude, that guy. Alec is a real
animal.
That man is the real deal.
Yep.
He is unbothered and disgusting, and it does not seem like he's like. So he came
massive mental on his
United
brother,
event we were talking about.
Yeah, I was about to say he shows up in Grands against Pristini. He's getting fucking smoked. I don't care.
Yeah, mental.
Dude,
he beat everybody but Pristini.
Yeah.
But yeah, he won his first event. That event they beat Optic CWL Atlanta. We were talking about.
Which was a dope event to watch. I remember we watched that event.
And
another championship Sunday.
Championships, split up with his brother, done just fine without him. Animal.
And think about
and Simp. I mean, dude's been.
That's what I'm saying. Think about Simp, Abizi, and Arcides like early in their career, because like Arcides has been playing for 4 or 5 years now, and Simp and Abizi have been playing for like 3 years, right? And in their first.
State, bro.
But in their first 3, 4, 5 years in the league, like 2 rings, multiple MVPs, like
yeah, and then
they are stacked.
They have Cell, and they don't seem to be having a problem
at all.
That
team has a great coaching staff too. Like
not anymore.
They had. Wait, what?
They got rid of Crowder apparently.
What? Really?
Yeah, apparently he's a free agent, or maybe they didn't get rid of him. Maybe he just left. I don't know.
Dude, if Optic better be copying him so fast. They're merging
and getting Rambo Ray.
That'd be Rambo as an analyst and then Crowder as a coach. 2 coaches there. I don't think that's bad. Tupac was the S&D. Yeah, dude, Pac for S&D. Dude, they're making the fucking super team.
Exactly, bro.
But that's the narrative right now is that like everyone has to build a team.
One thing,
bro. Octane was like, bro, everyone's getting together like the fucking Avengers trying to take down FaZe, bro.
But that's what I was gonna bring up was I feel like this Optic Envy thing, like if that does end up happening, that team of Scump, Dashy, Shotzi, and Illy is very reminiscent of like the FaZe team that formed in AW to beat Optic.
In AW, yeah, no, they talk about that on the flank all the time.
So
we ended up talking a lot about COD for such big Halo announcements.
Right. Well, I mean, we talked about all the Halo announcements.
Yeah, but
and that's kind of all there was to it.
But the super team that was like we talk about super teams, right? The super team right now in Halo is Sentinels, I think. And like the other super team that was made for that was C9.
But hold on. Calling Sentinels a super team is like if Golden State never picked up KD, calling them a super team. It's not fair because like they were just themselves, and then they became the best team, and they're still the best team.
So would you say
they didn't build the roster around the fact that it was like you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best?
Right. Plus, that core was together for multiple years of getting like second and third, and like you know what I'm saying. And then they made a couple changes, and like Frosty was a rookie. Like
they made a risky play going for TJ and Frosty,
and they didn't even see success at first. They got bopped by EG in the finals at X Games.
Yep.
Yeah, so my mistake.
I wouldn't call it. Well,
I was just
Sentinels is the dynasty team though, right?
They are.
Now
they're the favorite.
Orgs have to make super teams in Halo, which I think Halo's in a really interesting spot right now because I don't think you can look at the talent and definitively say this is a super team that's like made to beat Sentinels.
There needs to be new talent.
The closest thing is C9.
I was gonna say
like
C9.
It's C9 is that, but it's like
right. But would you call them a super team?
I would say so. Yeah, because Stellar Renegade, it was Shotzi before.
Yeah, but I think Penguin is a fantastic player. I don't think he is the threat on the map that Shotzi was.
Yeah, but who else are you going to put in that spot that you think is better for that team environment?
No, there's nobody else that's better, but that's
what I'm saying. So you're still making the super team.
But I still think that's a downgrade, though. And I think by making them worse,
that's nothing that they can help though.
Right. I'm saying neither of them are a super team. Because that's not the way.
Disagree.
That's not.
I feel it's basically the Splice team. They have the same idea for like why they built.
But I guess what Clay's trying to say is they were going to do that regardless of who they picked up. Like they're going to pick up a top player. They're not going to sit there and pick up.
Right.
They're going to pick somebody who's going to make it. Like they pick up Lucid. They pick up Trippy. They pick up Ola. They pick up anybody that is they're going to pick some top player. They're not going to find.
Yeah, but I think the original reason why Splice was made was to beat, because like people were trying to build these
that's
crazy.
Subjectively true, and it was.
Yeah,
so that's what happened.
Exactly. And if the core of that team is what was before a super team that was built to beat Sentinels, then they were Tox. Then I think that it still stands that they are that super team.
Nah.
Fuck you.
Nah, I don't agree.
But like, okay, but the whole point of that was that like Halo's in a really weird space where you don't have all of these like super recognizable names.
Right.
And
those
all
teams,
of that like it's gonna be a lot of new talent on big orgs that have to perform at a high level. And that's a lot of pressure, dude.
Right.
Like whoever ends up on that fucking phase team.
That's what I'm saying. Because who all out of all everybody who's signed, right? Think of everybody who is
the biggest free agent is
playing Halo, right? But think about like Snipedown's playing Apex. Like there's no like. Think about who all is still playing Halo, who's committed to play during Infinite, and think about everybody who's currently signed to a team. You can't get anybody on Sentinels or C9 or E United or whatever the last one was.
Like all these teams that don't have a signed like roster have to decide who is our franchise player.
And there are some big exactly like
I feel
cannot
like
go find Pistola or
there's big
Frosty.
name.
They can't go get the best guys,
bro. My emails are like, we want you to lead our pro team. It's like
So there's gonna be a ton of new.
I'm gonna do it. You're not gonna. Cole's gonna be on fucking. Cole's about to be on jet skis.
Oh shit!
But also,
I'll just assemble
but it's like
myself. It'll be fine.
There's huge brands and pretty small names, other than like Bound. And it's like then that's like building.
No, see, that's only a big name to us or the people that know.
Exactly.
That does not exist in
the only big name is Bound. Yeah, but it's super niche to our community. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I wonder how the talent management is going about
it's gonna
that
be
for these orgs.
There's no doubt.
And then I guess that goes to like how much Tashi has made it a big point that the amount of communication and the amount of commitment that these orgs have towards the scene, and like obviously he's putting a good word in for all these players because he wants all these players to get picked up by these big brands so they'll stay,
Right, definitely. I'm sure because of the level of, we've talked about the level of cooperation between HCS and these teams, so I'm sure that they're also probably directing them to the proper channels of like, if maybe not pointing directly at certain people, but at least directing them to be like, this is where y'all can look to like, find people or, whatever. So
yeah.
It's gonna be
I think it's a weird time.
And it's weird. Like, it's definitely weird.
It's gonna be a brand new game that like brand new players are gonna be getting better at. Whereas like in Halo 5, you still saw like people from like MCC and shit, but a lot of people have fucking retired.
Yeah, no, because that's why
like or moved on to other games.
We saw such a change of like eras in the amount of time that Halo 5 was out, because it was something I was talking about because I was like reacting to like the 2017 World Championship, and at that point you still had people like Victory X playing and like players that you wouldn't even think about now that started in like Halo 2. And how many of those players are still around or retired in the middle of Halo 5, and now we're waiting on an influx of new talent.
And there will be new talent. It'll be very exciting.
And there will be
players. There are going to be people that have never played another Halo in their life, and once we're 2 years into Halo Infinite, they're going to be some pro player that's like
literally we're in uncharted waters, bro.
Again, with all these big brands around, like that's their time to just.
No, the
brand
there are going to be new players that have literally never played Halo in their life. They're going to bring an entirely new way to think to Halo. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. It's going to be cool to learn from some crazy Shotzi type people.
Definitely. So with all that being said,
you said us said, right?
I think I did. Attach is the greatest Call of Duty player of all time. We're running through the artillery.
And binging shit is dumb.
Shut up. Binging shit is what I do. Eat my ass. Anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. If y'all don't have anything else, I think this has been a pretty solid episode.
Yeah, my dog won't stop barking, so I have to keep muting my mic when I'm not talking.
Yeah, I saw a Hitchcock over there in the background for Clay.
Yeah, Justin, really, you can kind of see it a little bit, the shadow of my Master Chief helmet, but every time somebody opens the door from my hallway, it shines the light on it, and Justin keeps saying it looks like the Hitchcock silhouette on my fucking wall.
It's pretty fucking funny.
But the Hitchcock silhouette means my food is here, so I believe we finna start wrapping this hoe up. But appreciate y'all. I had
fun this episode.
Yeah, this was a good one. I like that. I like that we're able to jump back into it so easily after so long of a break in between the last episode.
I mean, honestly, I hope our viewers like to listen to COD commentary, because if not, they're gonna bounce out of this episode somewhere way before this, I'm sure.
Well, hey, hope that you like listening to the Wavelengths podcast for the Wavelengths boys. All right.
That's right. But hopefully in the future we'll have a lot more stuff to talk about really soon, because we're getting closer and closer to release date, and yeah, shit's gonna get crazy, and
definitely
it's gonna be crazy.
December 8th.
Talking about where we started doing this bullshit, just like we were talking about how other people started a minute ago.
But with that being said, we got plenty of shit coming up, boys. There's gonna be plenty of Wavelengths content in the future. We're gonna start slowly phasing the podcast back in. But keep your eyes and ears open and locked, not just on us, but on the Halo channels. All right, we got all type of different announcements and stuff. Like I said, they're dropping teasers on the HCS Twitter and all this shit. So just keep it locked. It's a very exciting time for all Halo fans, but especially those of us that are all about the esports and the competitive side of things. But yeah, that being said, appreciate y'all rocking with us for this episode. Like I said, we're gonna start phasing the podcasts back in a little bit more regularly as we get closer to phasing, as we get closer to Infinite. And the content's gonna be coming regular from there. So we appreciate y'all watching and listening. If you are listening to us, remember to get after us on Twitter at WavelengthsCX, or go check us out on YouTube, Wavelengths Podcast. And if you're watching us on YouTube, remember you can go listen to us. We're on all audio platforms and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff. Links in the description for all of our socials and all of our different places you can listen to us and whatever. But yeah, remember to hit us up, suggestions for anything y'all want us to talk about. But with that being said, we love y'all. We hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Oh, I would have chose Cloud9, by the way.
I was wondering if anybody else answered that question.
C9 Beedrill.
C9 Beedrill, it's got a nice ring to it.
I'm going home to United. Bring in more titles.
Motivates, 100%.